Scentbird, Scentbird, I smell good, bitch. And if you want to smell good like me, you'll click down below in the description box and get 15% off of your first month subscription service to Scentbird, which is a monthly subscription service that sends you perfumes, candles, hand lotions, and makeup. So you guys get down below, check out their website, and sign up. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue, and I am back for another watch and review, and we're about to watch and review Skeleton Key. All right, so I found it on Amazon. It's a part of Amazon Prime, so you can watch it for free if you have Amazon Prime. So let's just get right into it. I hope y'all enjoy. Okay, so the movie starts off with our girl Caroline reading a story to her patient. See, she a hospice nurse, okay? So she, reading a little book time, and he's kind of drifting off, and y'all, the beginning had this really beautiful tree with the water falling from the leaves and all of this. It was just very beautiful, and y'all know how much I love trees. If you didn't know, now you know, okay? I love trees, all right? So I was just like all into that. And then the man died, and it was sad, and Caroline put all his stuff into a box, and the people was like, oh, well, his family doesn't want anything to do with him, so just throw his stuff out back. So Caroline goes to open up the dumpster to throw the box in, and sees that they have several boxes in a dumpster. And it's like, so that's how y'all treat y'all family members, huh? That's how y'all do old folks nowadays? See, I blame westernized, mindsets. I really do. Like, only in the West do people disrespect their elderly like y'all do. I'm just saying. I say y'all because I don't disrespect the elderly. I have manners, okay? I don't give a fuck what none of y'all talking about. Well, if you don't give me y'all, no, fuck all that, okay? If somebody is older than you and by a great number of years, especially old enough to be your mama or your grandmama, if they have not disrespected you, you owe them your respect, okay? I don't want to hear none of that bullshit from you young ignorant motherfuckers that don't know nothing because y'all ain't, lived enough yet to know that living gives you some type of presence on this earth that requires people to show you some type of respect. Just stop being stupid, okay? Y'all know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Back to the movie. Apparently, sis decided to quit her job. Okay, it was that detrimental to her spirit, so she had to quit. And then she went out dancing in what seems like Frenchmen. Okay, like a ball Frenchman. Yeah, they out there with the bands and all that. Y'all know y'all love that shit. Okay, wait, so she wasn't a nurse, but she needed a certain amount of hours working in hospice, taking care of old people in order for her to get the hours she needs to start nursing school. So now that she didn't quit the soul suck of a job she had at the beginning of the movie, she decides to look for a job in the paper. And somebody is looking for a hospice nurse in the paper in Terrebonne Parish. And yes, Terrebonne Parish is the swamps. Everything is the swamps, okay? We live in said swamps, all right? That's what Louisiana is, swamps. I'm just gonna say off rip, the house she just pulled up to, that house look haunted to me. I was looking at all them beautiful trees like, oh, y'all didn't hung some black folks on these trees. The way these trees is bent down, like, it's been weighed down by racism in the world. Lord, using God's creations to kill people, it's not, oh, Lord, just not right. It's not right. Irks my spirit. Anyway, y'all, so she walking up in these people's house, and y'all, let me tell y'all something that I noticed about this movie when I watched it again, because I hadn't watched it in a long time. And I was like, let me sit down and see how I'm feeling about it. So I watched it, and I didn't realize before, see, you automatically want to root for Caroline, but you shouldn't, because she's privileged and annoying as fuck, okay? What I mean by that, this first thing, who the fuck just walks in people's house? Like, who does that? Just walks in. Hello? Like, you supposed to walk around back first before you walk straight in the house looking all in people's rooms and shit. And this ain't the first time she irked my nerves with this nosy shit that she does. Like, no, okay? Like, pay attention. You supposed to like Caroline, but she ain't a likable character. Just telling y'all right now. Oh, nosy bitch. So Caroline walked into these people's house and then walked to the back. Here come the lawyer dropping boxes and paper shit, fumbling around trying to pretend like he all soft and tender and shit. But I see ain't something right about you, sir. All right? Look, the lady Violet is cutting her husband Ben's hair in the yard, y'all. And she's just looking at Caroline, not really saying nothing. And so the lawyer introduces them to one another, and she just looks at it and walks off. I'm like, all right, see you funky old all right? I ain't gonna call you a funky old bitch to your face, but that's what I'm thinking, you funky old bitch. Okay, look. So he's just keep trying to make excuses for her. You know, she's losing the love of her life and all of this bullshit here. And I'm like, oh, get the fuck out of here. By the time people get to this stage with this shit, you should be prepared. Prepared. I'm just joking. But in this situation, this old lady does not seem like the soft and tender type. So trying to act like she was all emotional over this nigga was just like, okay. Violet comes back outside and says to the lawyer that Caroline is not going to understand the house. Look at her. She not from New Orleans. She not from the South. And it's like, I hate when people call somebody, you know, she's old South. I'm like, what does that mean? Racist and degenerate? Like, what the fuck does that mean? She's old South. Like, fuck out of here. All right? Motherfuckers is dead for a reason. Okay? Be in the present, people. Be in the present. Okay? Because the past is the past. There's nothing you can do about it, baby. You can't go back. It's never going to be again. Okay? So deal with it. Either way, y'all, the fact that the man can't talk, the wife don't want you there, it's just kind of like, why would you even take this job, bitch? Like, okay. See, look at here. The little friend packing her little bags in her car so she can move to Terrebonne and be a living hospice nurse for Ben, okay? And her little friend packing her in a car, and she's sitting up there, don't be stuck with them old people, and in case you want to talk to somebody that was born before World War II and all this. And I'm just like, bitch, what is all of this shade to old people? What is wrong? What is wrong? Do we not realize we're going to all get old one day? And you don't want to be that asshole kid who was always trying to say some little slick shit to somebody older than you because you thought you was never going to get old, motherfucker? Hello? Like old people just was born old. Like what the fuck? I can't deal with people sometimes, y'all. So look, she had to stop at a gas station. And let me tell you something, they got way too many chevrons for me to be stopping at a gas station that look like this. Okay, sis? And then, you know, once again, walking in, looking around, being nosy and shit, just being way too inquisitive, okay? Look, walking back, what is you doing, lady? Okay, there is nothing back there for you. Oh, Lord. Okay, so look. The old lady we saw walking down the road earlier when she was on her way to go, you know, check up with these people and see if she was going to get this job. They had an old lady walking down the street, and here come the old lady at the gas station, blind as shit, holding the little baby. Look like the baby mama come and get her and bring her away. You could tell she blind because her eyes white. I'm like, oh, okay. That looks troublesome. Oh, look. Then it's a tall, black, Haitian-looking man. And bones in her face. Them oysters do not look cold. Them oysters do not look cold. Why are you shucking hot oysters, sir? Trying to get food poisoning? The fuck? She could have put that $20 on the fucking counter. She had already pumped that gas. That don't even make no sense. Just nosy. So she get inside the house and starts to unpack all her things and notices that there are no mirrors nowhere in the house. First sign that you should have left. What kind of house ain't got no mirrors in it? Okay? That's something to be worried about. So straight from the gate, this old lady is shady as shit, okay? She talking about how scrawny she is, how she knows she probably written on and all of that. She came into the room to feed Ben his remedies. What the fuck is a remedy, child? I don't know. But from what I can understand, I think it's something that she puts in Ben so Ben can stay quiet. All right? Of course, we're going to figure that out later on. But like I said, I've already seen this movie, so we're not about to act like I have not. Another thing, all right? So she asked the lady, she asked Violet, how long has she been in the house, Miss Violet Devereaux? All right, I see you, Blanche, bitch. Anyway, and she said since 1962, they bought the house from my brother and sister who fell on hard times. And that's the picture of them. And she like, you keep a picture of them in this house? She was like, yeah, I like to pay respects to the memories of this house. So when Caroline goes to pick up the picture of the two kids, a picture of the two kids and the two black servants drop out. And on the back it said Mama Cecile and Papa Justified. And I'm like, oh shit. This looks why we might be haunted. Something about this feels like slavery and hauntings. So apparently this big ass house has like over 30 rooms, and back in the Gap they will make a special key for each room and give the owner the skeleton key. So that's where we get the title of this movie, The Skeleton Key. So Caroline gets a skeleton key and Violet has her skeleton key. So apparently, Miss Caroline got some daddy issues, all right? Her daddy must have been sick, and she didn't take care of him. So that's why she up here trying to save all these old people, because she didn't do what she was supposed to do by her daddy, okay? See what I'm saying, y'all? Low down. Okay, if your people are, healthy of mind and can, basically fend for themselves, stop putting your people in these terrible ass homes that don't mean nothing for them, and you don't go back and visit them or nothing. All right, don't go get their effects when they die. Don't be fucked up like that. So Miss Violet, in a real suspect way, asked Caroline to go up to the attic to get something for her. And I'm like, I see you. I see you setting her up. Okay? If you thought that old lady wasn't smarter than you, you're wrong. She is smarter than you. Because the mind fuck began as soon as she walked into the house, y'all. The mind fuck began. All right? This is the mind fuck this whole time. See, to me, the best part about movies like this is when you watch it the second time. Because then you know what's going on. So when you go back to watch it, you like, oh, okay, bitch. She go up there to the attic and she see the door. She see it. It look funny. It look like they gonna have something, something going on back there. Maybe some dead slave bones or some shit. You don't know. Y'all, so apparently something was moving on this shelf. So she goes to the shelf and pushes the items aside that are moving and realizes that there's a door behind the shelf. So then she tries to use her skeleton key to open this door, but the key don't work. She can't get in. So now she gonna be wondering what's in that room. And then here come Miss Violet. Caroline girl, are you done, girl? Doing all of that shit. So she just runs away. But now she's going to want to know what's in that room. She's going to go back so she can try to find out what's going on in that room. Why her key don't work for that room. You know why? Because she knows it. All in other people's business. Let me tell you something. If I see some shit shaking, I'm going to think it's a rat, and I'm going to hurry up and get what the fuck I got to get and run out of here. But not you. Oh, no. You got to investigate. Violet says she has no idea what's going on in the attic. It's been locked since they moved in, and she don't know what's in it. And I'm like, lady, you lying your ass off. How you been living in this house since 1962, and it's 2000 and something, and you ain't never looked in a closet in your house. You ain't never got bored on a rainy Saturday and been like, bitch, let me go look around this house and see what's going on. It's my house. Oh, girl, I don't believe that for a second. Okay, y'all. So she go to bed that night, and shit going bump in the night. And she get up to go run upstairs and see what's going on. Because I told y'all, bitch knows. So, she's supposed to be taking care of the old man. She heard something fall. She's supposed to go and look. So she go up there and she see that he is not in his bed. He cannot walk, okay? So where did he go? And then she realizes that his door was locked. So she run back to the room and realized that the window is open. He climbed his ass out the window. And I'm like, how does a man that can't walk get himself out of a fucking window? And I'm like, so what was he gonna do? He was climbing to the edge, and I was like, what was you gonna do, Ben? Was you gonna fling yourself off? Because if you was gonna do that, you could just slide, roll on down to the side and fall right off. Like, what you was gonna do? You look like you didn't have full control of your body. But here come Caroline. She's super saving old men. Caroline trying to save people, but Ben went ahead and fell off the damn roof into some bushes. And he dragging himself a digard. You think it was a Vietnam movie the way he dragging himself through the rain. And Caroline tries to get him, but he grabbing on her. Let me go, bitch. That's what he want to say. All right. And then Violet sees what's going on. So she come running outside and, y'all, get the wheelchair. It's like, no, we need to call 911. Bitch, I said get the wheelchair. Like, we're not calling 911 right now. We're going to call the doctor in the morning. Bitch, get the wheelchair. She went back into his room to get the wheelchair and saw that help me was written on his sheets, y'all. Help me. That should let her know that old lady is trying to kill him. So the morning after, Luke the lawyer comes by to see what's going on. She invites him into her room and tells him to close the door because she wants to show him something. And he makes a sly comment that his mother told him that a woman that would invite him into her bedroom is not really a lady at all or some shit like that. And I'm just like, oh, so you trying to call me a hoe? Okay, sir. Like, that's some antiquated, ways of thinking. It's the 2000s and you look like a young lawyer named Luke. Why is you saying this to that lady? All right, y'all see, y'all paying attention? Y'all paying attention? So she's supposed to be showing him the sheets that had helped me written on them. But baby, They not there no more. It's some new sheets, some clean sheets, all right? Apparently, Miss Violet is on to her. And I'm like, that's because Miss Violet know what's going on. Setting up the whole thing. So Caroline was right about to tell Luke that she felt that Ben was asking her for help and something was going on, when Violet comes in saying that she's ready to talk about the estate. But she gets upset when she sees that they're both in Caroline's room. Once again, feeling like, oh, what's going on here? She felt like she walked in on her husband cheating on her. At least that's the way it looked. She said, get your perspirations off me. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck? Get what off? Get the sweat? What you talking about? I was confused. I ain't know what she meant by that, but you know. That don't mean nothing, y'all. That don't mean nothing. I just was looking at the old lady like, oh, she look mad. And he gonna say, you know, you the only woman for me. And she was like, I know no such thing. And I'm like, child, this don't look right to me. Something ain't right going on right here between Luke and Violet. And Caroline felt that something wasn't quite right. But he gonna give her his card. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me you ain't been gave the lady your card since when you first hired her? So once again, y'all, Caroline is going snooping around. I think she stole that old lady key, and now she going back up there into the room. And she in the room. She see all the voodoo stuff, all the little mason jars full of body parts and oil and shit. Oh, what is that? It looked like a skeleton of a monkey with its mouth open. What the shit? Oh, Then they all look like you, girl. They got some type of mannequin with the eyes and the mouth sewn closed with blonde hair. I'm like, oh, look like she been working on some hoodoo on you, girl. Then she see a book. Nosy. Y'all just think about the fact that this lady is hell-bent on looking through these people's stuff. Like, just think about that in the context of you have somebody working in your house and every chance they get, they looking all through your personal shit. Just think about that. This bitch working on my nerves, okay? So look, she up there, she seeing all of the pictures, recipe book of Papa Justify and Miss Lucille, Mama Lucille, and looking at spells, conjurization of supreme protection. She sees that, so she take a record up out of there, and then I'm like, see you stealing shit? And look, oh look, she found the ring. She found Papa Justify ring. So Violet just yelled for her. Caroline, the way she looked, it looked like, I know you somewhere where you're not supposed to be, but it's because I led you there, bitch. Like, what the fuck was in the jar? She picked up one of the jars. It looked like a cow tongue. And she dropped it. It looked like a cow tongue that had been shriveled up and closed in on itself. And then when she dropped it, it went splat. And it was nasty as shit. And I'm surprised Violet didn't hear that shit. So she running and ducking and hiding and shit. And then Violet comes into the attic and she hides. So Violet like, oh, I guess she not up here. So then she walks back downstairs and then the little bitch scurries out. I'm like, do y'all see this, girl? Just think about if this was your house. So she takes the record that she stole home to New Orleans to her little, you know, to what's this girl named Jordan Bryant, to her apartment, and starts to play the record. And the man is saying, you know, from these chains, Lord, free me. And, you know, just say, he's saying a spell, but they recorded the spell and put it on a record. So she listening to this shit, and then all of a sudden her friend coming out looking at her like, bitch, what the fuck? And she's like, it's just a local band. Like, get the fuck out of here. That wasn't even music. We know what spells sound like when we hear them. Child, I don't hear that shit. Then she's talking about, oh, won't you take me out for a drink? And then Chopper Style is in the club. I'm just like, oh, all right. So they got to talk about this at the club. I'm like, oh, all right, this is what we talk about, this type of shit at the club? Okay. So basically her little BFF tells her, hold up, let me see what the girl name is, Jill. Okay, Joy is Jill on here, not Jordan, it's Joy. All right. So Jill says that her auntie goes to some place to get her little, you know, her little stuff, which is a botanica. Usually they're botanicas, but for some reason they got a voodoo shop or hoodoo shop, because she explains to her that it's hoodoo and it only works if you believe in it. It's all psychological, all right? So she's like, all right, so where your auntie shop at? See what I'm talking about? Nosy little bitch. And she gonna try to make Jill feel like she's scary because Jill didn't want to go into the back of the laundromat where the voodoo shop at, or the hoodoo shop, whichever. Okay, it's not the same, but then it kind of is. The tools are the same. So you can get the same shit from the same places, so to speak. Same thing with Santeria. Anything that you could get voodoo and hoodoo shit from, you can get Santeria stuff too. So she didn't go into the hoodoo shop that time, but she goes back to the house, and I think she went back up to the attic. They didn't show it to us, but they show us her taking off her shoes so she could sneak upstairs after Miss Violet with her door crack said, "Good night, Caroline," letting her know, "Bitch, I hear you. I know where you at." But she took her shoes off and slipped on upstairs. The next morning, Miss Violet is getting her little flowers and stuff together, and she sees there are mirrors up in her house. Do y'all hear me? Do y'all hear me? This girl went in the attic, got the mirrors that this lady took off her walls and put the fucking mirrors back. Now, I know this lady said she didn't want no mirrors in her house. I don't care if you wanted a mirror. She said you can have your own small mirror, but she don't want no mirrors on the walls. Now, if you're going to work here, who told you that you could go at somebody's attic and get that shit and put it back up on the wall? Who told you could do that? That is not okay. See what I mean? Caroline will work on your nerves. So Caroline gonna tell Miss Violet that she knows what's going on. She know what's going on in that room. And if she don't tell her the truth, she's leaving. And I'm just like, ain't this about a bitch? Now, what other time can you hire somebody to do a job and they tell you that if you don't tell them your business, they gonna quit? The fuck? But that's the setup. It's all good. But in real life, y'all, we would have been upset at Caroline, y'all. But this is what Miss Violet wants. So now she about to tell her the story. Tell her the story of how the house is haunted. About how Mama Cecile and Papa Justified got hung up and burned one night when the white folks that lived in that plantation-style house had a party and the kids was missing because everybody wanted to say goodnight to the kids. So they run up to the attic because they heard music. So they run up there to the attic and they see that the two kids is in some hoodoo shit and that Papa Justified and Mama Cecile is all like in a trance and shit and, you know, doing all of that type of shit. So, you know, white people, they get all upset and, you know, drag them outside. And the two little kids was like, no, it's not their fault. We wanted to learn. We wanted to do it. But them white folks was drunk and they wasn't hearing that shit. So they dragged Mama Cecile and Papa Justified downstairs, strung them up on a tree, hung them, and set their ass on fire. Now y'all understand why the house is haunted. So not only did they burn and hang up these people on a tree, but they had abused them prior to that, which is why I think this was this was a plan from the very beginning, all right? So Miss Violet tells Caroline that the man Thorpe, who owned the house, who burned and killed them, was never brought to justice. Money did its thing. Okay, but that's why the house is haunted, because not only was they evil, treating their servants so terribly, but then to string them up and kill them, y'all. And that scene with them people just shouting in glee and spitting liquor on them people while they hanging and all of that. Oh, Lord. Just, oh. Later on, Mr. Thorpe shot his wife to death and turned a gun on himself. And their two children lived in that house until 1962 when Violet and Ben came and bought the house from them. But something sounds like karma to me. So Caroline, little disgusting, slick ass, is in the bathroom washing Ben. She get a little soap in her eye and pull out her compact so I guess she could see the soap in her eye. Okay, bitch. And Ben is looking at it when she puts it on the side of the tub. Now, it's one of those old school claw tubs, so the sides go like this. I was like, why would you sit that right there? Like, that was going to fall any moment if he wasn't staring at it. And then she slid it closer, and then she opened it up to him like this. And he was like, ah! And he jumped up and down in the water and splashing all over the damn place. And, you know, she put her arm over him and was like, I'm sorry, Ben, calm down. Calm down, Ben, I'm sorry. So then she decides that she gonna go to the hoodoo place. She gonna go to the damn laundromat and find out what it's hitting for with the hoodoo, because obviously something is afoot in this house. All right, now when she pulling off, she gonna ignore that lady, Miss Violet, asking her what she was going to the store for. So she gets to the hoodoo place and, you know, we see the lady handing out a ritual to a young girl who seems to be getting abused by her old man. And then she walks in and talks about the hoodoo taking place at the house. So Caroline asked Mama Cynthia about the brick dust at the door. What is that about? And she explains that it's a protection dust. You put it over your doorsill and whoever means you home can't cross it. All right? So remember that. So then she explains how Ben has been crossed. He has a hex put on him and she thinks it's done by the wife. She also says that, you know, he's not speaking, he's not talking, and so Mama Cynthia gonna give her something to help him, to get that hex up off him, to uncross him. So Caroline takes what she got from Mama Cynthia over to Jill's place. And Jill is like, I cannot believe you just went in there. What are you doing? Like, you sound crazy right now. You're trying to be a nurse, but you just came from a witch doctor's? Like, what is going on with you, sis? And she just is like, you know, it's a way for me to help Ben. It's a way for me to help Ben. And she's like, girl, Ben is about to die. He is not your daddy. Stop trying to make all your patients your daddy. Let it go, sis. He's gone. Let it go. But no. She thinks she gonna help somebody who's in hospice. So while Miss Violet sleeps downstairs, Caroline takes a bowl of water and a candle and a little kit she got from Mama Cynthia and starts to do a ritual over Ben. Put all the herbs in the water, wash your hands around in it, light the candle, sprinkle the shit on it, trying to get him to wake up, trying to get him to talk. Y'all, so she doing a little spell and she touching him and all of that to try to get him to speak and cleanse the room and all of that with the feather and, you know, just doing the whole ritual thing, right? As soon as he starts to talk, help me, get me out of here. As soon as he starts to say that, Miss Violet downstairs knocked out wakes up, okay? Something is asunder. So she running upstairs and Caroline gonna have to hurry up and try to get everything together, but Ben is flipping out because he feel like it's his last chance to get help, so he's jumping up and spilling shit all over the place. Y'all, she is not about to get away with this ritual. No, she is not. It's Violet coming out. What is going on here, Caroline? Why are you not opening the door for me? You were talking to him? And she was like, yeah, I was just, you know, telling him a story to try to calm him down. You know, I was just trying to get him to calm down. And it's just so unbelievable. Like, girl, we know you lying. She like, all right, Caroline, go to bed, bitch. That's it. And she's like, I'm going to come down and check on him later. I said, that's enough, bitch. Go to bed. Go to bed, bitch. That's enough. Like, girl, that old lady looked like she about to backhand the fuck out you. So that night when Caroline went to sleep, she had dreams of a ritual. She had dreams of Mama Cecile smoking a cigarette. She had dreams of them kids down on the floor with the candles, having that spell put on them. Okay, like she just having a dream of her hair getting cut and a dream of her eyes and her mouth being sewn like that mannequin that was up in the attic that she saw. And I told y'all that looked like her. All right? So it's raining and pouring outside, but she know it's time to go. So she packing up all her shit, trying to get Ben together so she could make them all leave together. And I'm like, girl, why is you trying to take this woman's husband out of this house? Why do you think this is okay, ma'am? If you thought that lady was endangering his life, why you ain't call the po-po-ho? Explain. But no, you looking at pictures of you and your pa feeling like that old man is your daddy. So now you gonna try to get him out this house, girl? So y'all, Caroline takes all of the little pictures that she took of the stuff in the attic and takes it over to Luke's. And I'm like, girl, so you mean to tell me you took pictures of these people's house? For real? Oh, Lord. Just invasive. Invasive, white lady. Invasive. So continuing on being nosy, she and Luke go visit Ben's last nurse, this little black lady who was smoking cigarettes like it was her last day on earth, girl. Like just, okay, y'all should get out of that house, okay? All right, something is wrong in that house, all right? Y'all need to get out of there. That's what I would have did, because that's what I did. I was like, oh, all right, girl, she's stressed out. She's stressed out. So then they go to that gas station again. And once again, they being nosy and they go out back where the shack is and they see that they got the dust sprinkled over the door. They could hear, you know, I guess Papa Justify record. They could hear it playing and this old lady is playing it. So that must have been why they walked back there. So because the lady is blind, she felt that it was okay to start looking through the lady's records. Like actually started like moving and going through her shit. Are you serious? Are you serious? I came with this. I cannot with Caroline. I cannot. She needs to get smacked. I'm sorry. She is too invasive. She feels way too comfortable going through people's shit. So Caroline asked about the record, and the old lady ran it. She was like, Papa Justify. They say he invented it, but he died before he got a chance to use it. Him and his poor wife. And they say no one ever found it. But what you have to do is sacrifice another soul and take the years that they have left. And I was just like, oh, all right, real crypt keeper like lady, but thank you for explaining it. Now we understand. So basically, this spell that they did to live forever is so they can take over somebody else's body, somebody else's life, but they get to be them while inside of them. So in that way, they live forever. I'm just like, wow. After that, Caroline went back to the house. And Violet looked like she was there to set up a trap. She pulled out Papa Justified recipe book and put it right on the counter. I was like, oh, that looked like a setup too. Why would you just pull that out and put that on the counter as soon as she came home? But then here come Caroline once again looking for shit that's been stolen out of her briefcase because you can't hide nothing in that lady house. Now, Caroline was just telling Luke in the car on the way to the house that she don't believe in hoodoo. But then she goes into the shed and gets some of that brick dust and spreads it all on the doors and shit, you know, in her bedroom. I'm just like, well, okay. Look like you believe in it to me, bitch. Then she calls Miss Violet into her room to see about this leak because it's been storming, y'all. Y'all know whenever something like this go down in a big old house, it's a storm. So, yeah, the lady would not come into the room. The lady did not cross that line where that brick dust was laid. And she kept trying to get her to come in the room. Can you just come? Can you come look at can you just come see so you can see? She was like, oh, I can see from here, child. She was like, no, won't you come in so you can really see what I'm talking about? No, I think I'm all right, child. You know, Caroline, you must think I'm senile, huh? I got to go tend to Ben. All right now, bitch, I see you. I was like, all right, this shit about to get good. Cat fight. Isn't by the bayou. My grandma told your grandma I'm gonna set your flag on fire. Talking about Ena, Aiko ande. Oh, Shagamorfino anani, Shagamorfinani. All right, so look, Miss Violet was like, after you give Mr. Devereaux his remedies, why don't you have dinner with me? We should have done it long before. I've cooked up something special for you. So then Caroline decides that she's going to get some of the morphine she has on hand and put it in the sugar cubes. So when Miss Violet put the sugar cubes in her tea, because she always takes sugar with her tea, she'll pass out, and then Caroline will be able to kidnap Ben from his bedroom and take him on out. But that old lady ain't see now. That old lady saw what she was doing and was like, oh, I ain't going to have no sugar in my tea tonight, sis. I'm like, all right. So then the power went out. When the power went out, she got up to go get some candles. And that's when our girl Caroline went ahead and dumped the liquid drug into her drink. So shit got real creepy at the dinner table when Miss Violet kept insisting that she tried a damn gumbo. When Caroline just kept asking about Bennett, what have you done to him? And you learned a spell from the ghost. And just being very self-righteous, and it's just hilarious because she still thinks she has the upper hand. Even though she gonna drug this lady, it didn't do much to her. I swear, she's got the stomach of a horse. Caroline insisted that Ben was not safe in this house. And Violet was like, he's my husband and I will do to him what I please. This is my house. And then she started to feel woozy because she put that drug in that girl's drink. So she passed out and hit her head on the table. And then Caroline went and cut out the spell, the protection conjure spell from out the book. And I'm like, she laid it on that page for a reason, Caroline. You think you so smart. You think you so smart. But you're not, girl. You're not. So once again, Caroline is going through Miss Violet's things and she finds a piece of her hair that she cut off. She finds that sheet that said, help me on it. She finds the record that she took from her room. She hurry up and grab Ben and bring him outside and put him in a car and get in her little bug. And y'all, this is when shit got dumb, okay? Now, y'all, they had this big-ass wrought iron gate that was chained very tightly. Why she ran her little bitty bug into that gate? Now, if you was driving a Buick, bitch, if you was in a big ass truck, if you was with any kind of Cadillac that was made before 1990, bitch, then I would be like, yeah, she could probably knock that thing open. But in this situation, her and that little bug, y'all, her and that little bug, girl, her and that little bug wasn't gonna do nothing. She was not going anywhere, sis. So because Caroline could not get them off the property, she decides to hide Ben in a shack they have in the back of the property. Meanwhile, Miss Violet then already woke her big ass up and is searching for a gun to shoot you with, bitch, okay? Really to scare with, because we don't want to mess up her pretty body. Caroline jumps in a little canoe on the property and canoes herself to a house in the swamps. That house in the swamps drops her off at Luke's house. Luke knocks her ass out and takes her back to the Devereaux mansion. So when they get back to the house, he drags her inside by her hair. Okay, no affection whatsoever. She's like, why are you helping her? Why are you doing this? She still don't understand what's going on. He says, you got everything ready? And she's like, look, we can't do nothing until we find Ben, all right? And so eventually she has to go ahead and give up the information. Where's Ben, bitch? She told Violet that Ben was in the little shack out back, so she go out there to go get his ass, and he tried to do something with some type of tool, but it didn't work. It didn't work. Like, sorry, you're not getting away. It's over for you. And she told Caroline, all right, it is over for him, sis. Let it go, all right? But she wants the picture of her dad next to her when she dies. So he's like, all right, Caroline, go get it. Then he realized that he ain't got no bullets, and I'm like, how you ain't realized you ain't had no bullets? That don't even make no sense. Child, Caroline started putting that brick dust everywhere, and then she run upstairs and try to put the brick dust at all of the doors, and she gets to the one that Miss Violet is in. Miss Violet grabbed her by the head and brought her up and then blew dust in her eye, and then they start to fight, and then, you know, they throwing each other back and forth, and eventually Caroline threw Violet down the stairs, bitch. Her legs was broken, everything. It was nasty. But that old lady dragged herself all the way up to the fucking attic after that. Are you kidding me, bitch? Her legs was broke. Both of them. Oh, on the way down the stairs. God damn. And then she an old lady, so you know that shit hurt. So Caroline locks herself in one of the rooms and calls 911 and calls her friend Jill and asks for help. But then they start banging on the door, so then she jumps out and runs up to the attic, y'all. And in the attic, she sees some shit already set up. Hundreds and hundreds of candles already set up and lit in a circle. And then she starts to draw the little configuration that's on that spell that she took out that book and starts following the instructions. See, she thinks that it's a protection spell for her, but really it kept her inside that circle. And that's when that old lady with them two broke-ass legs come running upstairs like, ha, bitch, they ain't gonna do nothing but keep you from leaving. And then she holds a mirror, and then, y'all, you start to see all of the faces of all of the people that this black lady has been, because that's what we find out, y'all, okay? That is Mama Cecile inside this old white lady Violet body, okay? And before that, it was the little girl. They actually put themselves into those children the night that they were hung. So it wasn't them. Them people actually hung their children's spirit inside of Papa Justified and Mama Cecile's body, bitch, okay? So after they became old, when they was, you know, after they had lived in that house as brother and sister, when they got old and they had to go ahead and find newer people in 62, they found Violet and Ben. And now Violet and Ben have gotten old. What happened was, y'all, the lawyer Luke is Papa Justified, which is why he was helping all along, which is why he wasn't as well versed in the law. Okay, and he had all of them Law for Dummies books that he was reading that Violet had, not Violet, that, what's your girl name? Caroline had found before all of this even went down, before he knocked her ass out and brought her back to the house, y'all. She holding up the knife. She think it's going to do something. It's like, no, Jesus, they got you. They got you, girl. So she pushes the glass, and Caroline just is standing there because she can't move, and the glass goes pow, and the shit falls on her, and then she wakes up, and she goes over to the old lady. The old lady laid out on the ground, and she got a pack of cigarettes on the ground, and she picks up the cigarette and picks up the lighter and starts smoking the cigarette. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. And he say, Cecile, you okay? Like, I'm all right, Justified. Just fine. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all, the way she got smacked with this mirror is like the smack she needed the whole time. For every time she went into them people's shit, for every time she put up a mirror when that lady asked her not to, whenever she was doing some shit she wasn't supposed to be doing in this self-righteous, annoying ass way, that mirror smacked the shit out of her. And I was all here for it, y'all. I was all here for it. And ultimately, you know, Caroline and the real lawyer Luke are inside those old people's bodies, and they're gonna die soon, but the lives of those slaves lives on. They're not slaves, but that's the feel they gave. They were servants that were treated as slaves. So that's the only way you out here abusing servants. Like, nah, we quit jobs. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So Papa Justified says, damn, you know, she was harder than a lawyer was. And she was like, it gets harder every time. They just don't believe like they used to. You know, you got to get them all worked up and shit. I'm like, oh, Lord, look at them. All right. And then she says, you know, I wanted a black one this time. And he said, the black ones never stay. Beggars can't be choosers. And I'm just like, oh, no. And then Caroline wakes up in that old lady and she feeling her face and shit. Oh, Lord, that shit funny. Then she give her one of them remedies to shut her ass up. Bless you. The homegirl Jill came through. She came all the way to Terrebonne Parish early in the damn morning to see what it was hitting for with her friend. And look, when the old lady, you know, but that's really Caroline who's on the stretcher, and she's like, oh, but you know, she can't talk and shit. And then the new Caroline, which is really Mama Cecile, she don't even know who she is, so she didn't know at first. So then Luke, AKA Papa Justified, had to introduce himself for her to say who she was. And then she was like, oh, Jill, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I forgot that I called you. My bad. But Jill has just got, you know, them big eyes the whole time. Like this, none of this shit feels right. None of this feels right. None of it. Y'all look up Ben and Violet driving in the ambulance together, all trapped inside other people's bodies and shit. Luke puts on Papa Justified's ring, and then we see the picture of them looking all sullen and old and African American. That was the Skeleton Key. I hope y'all enjoyed this watch and review. I'm going to try to get one more in before Halloween, y'all. It'll probably be I Know What You Did Last Summer or Vampire in Brooklyn. Whichever y'all comment the most for, that's what'll end up happening. So, I hope y'all enjoyed these, and see y'all in the next one, which will probably be Married to Medicine. So, peace out.